What's up, guys? It's Thursday, and welcome to CNA Films and Animation First Nostalgic Review. What are we reviewing this week, Corey?
Well, this week, we both decided that we were going to take a look at some of the earliest movies that we remember. And the earliest movie that Alan could remember was The Land Before Time. So we decided that since we both grew up with the Land Before Time movies, at least for the first 6 of them, we are going to review the first 6 movies. Today's episode, we're going to review 1 through 3.
The first episode, The Land Before Time,
It was directed by Don Bluth.
And
was produced by Steven Spielberg and George Lucas through Amblin. I think that's the production company. And it came out in 1988. And so, what's the story?
I know what you're thinking. It's Land Before Time. Oh, it's a kid's one. Well, the first one is the darkest of the bunch. Land Before Time and dark, those don't go together. The first one is pretty much follows the story of the long-necked Littlefoot. He is born in nearly a wasteland, and his family are trying to find a valley with food. And there's an earthquake and
A Tyrannosaurus Rex, which they refer to as Sharp Teeth, attacks the long neck community, and his Littlefoot's mother is stuck in the battle, and
only T-Rex falls. She is protecting Littlefoot and a young Triceratops named Sarah from the T-Rex. She's severely bitten, and she's able to knock off the T-Rex off a cliff. Then it's pretty much following Littlefoot's journey to get to the
Great Valley.
Great Valley, like his mother wanted. And it's really just about the journey and the coming together of people in this version, kids from different backgrounds, different
species.
Yes, different species to achieve a common goal of getting to the Great Valley. This is the first movie. It has a sad tone, beautiful animation for 1988. It's hand drawn, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
And you can see all the details.
Yeah.
There's a few scenes of it spanning across a cliff face, and you can see every rock and crevice and crack. It is amazing.
And with that, if you're familiar with Don Bluth animation, some of his other works are The Secret of Nim, The Pebble and the Penguin. He's also done American Tail and All Dogs Go to Heaven. So, a lot of his movies have a darker tone. They're very darkly drawn. There's a lot of blues and kind of grays in his drawing style. But it really does help the overall atmosphere. It's just beautifully drawn, hand-drawn, as Alan said.
The characters in this, very different, very unique.
Very memorable.
Yes. They're all their own individual ones.
We have Littlefoot, the long neck, Sarah, the Triceratops. There's Petrie, the flyer. Ducky, the swimmer.
Who in this one is called a big mouth. They changed that because I guess calling her a big mouth all the time would have been offensive to kids.
And then Spike.
The Spike Tail.
Yeah.
Who doesn't say a word but is great whenever he's on this.
Yeah, if I had to pick a favorite character, Spike would be mine.
Yeah, he's fun. He doesn't say a single word. He gets scared. He smashes his head through stone. He does it in the first 3 movies, doesn't he? He just Smash!
So,
It's fun.
growing up, what did the first one mean to you? Did you like it growing up?
Growing up when I was really little, it was kind of a little too dark for me. It was my least favorite when I was growing up. I did watch it. It scared the crap out of me. The T-Rex, the images, the colors. Looking back, it's a great movie. Very memorable, as we've said. What did you think of it growing up?
Well, growing up, I remember thinking that I liked it, but I was never a huge fan of the first one. But after rewatching it as an adult, after seeing it again through a new set of eyes, in a way, I have to say that this is definitely the best one that's been made. It's the most memorable. I really can't say anything negative about this film.
Yeah. Thing I learned watching it again, I want to say subtle. I don't want to say racism, but you can see it early on, like with Sarah's father. He is along the line, don't you hang out with him, long necks stuff. Watching it, I didn't really see it, but it's kind of going on for a life, the differences and people see throughout the shows that overcome that, and they become closer friends. And they do that right through, and it's very neat and very I guess important for children to see it. It's there. It provides a good learning experience.
Oh, another thing that it's always kind of saddened me after I heard the news, but the voice actress that played Ducky sadly was tragically killed at the age of 4. And so, I mean...
At the age of 4?
Yeah, her father killed her.
Oh, wow.
And, I mean, it really does add even more just kind of a dark tone to the entire film, knowing that fact. But, at the same time, it's one of those films that, even though it has a dark past, even though it's darkly drawn, darkly written, it's still a story of hope, a story of overcoming our challenges.
Very good. I'd recommend seeing it. I'd recommend showing it to not young children, but children that are more aware of. Not more, maybe a little bit more mature. Maybe
6 and up, maybe.
Yeah.
So, as of today, what would you give this out of 10?
Out of 10 of today, it's beautifully drawn. The characters are memorable. I'd probably give it a high 8 out of 10.
Okay.
What would you give it, Corey?
For me, I was really kind of just sucked into the entire story. I loved everything, like every moment about this film. And I would have to say that I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10.
9.5? Wow.
I think it is one of the best animations from the 80s,
Yes.
or even today. I mean, it's just a very powerful story.
Yes, it is. Another thing, a character, I think, in this film, he has an extremely short period. He's only in there for one scene. I think he's the
Rooter.
The Rooter. I knew it started with an R. The Rooter. He's only in there for one scene, but his lines are directly to the point. He comes in at an extremely powerful time. He's an understanding character. He's a very wise character. And it really helps the film.
So, going on to the second film, The Land Before Time 2, The Great Valley Adventure.
This is the start of the more kid-friendly, little kid-friendly the Land Before Time series. The first one had no songs sung by the characters. This one has several, and the rest of them all have sing-alongs and whatnot. This one follows all the characters. They're still young, but they're in the age they want to be treated like they're older, and they decide to hide from their parents till they're respected as the big kids they are. And while doing this, they see two egg snatchers, as they're called, steal away with one of Ducky's siblings. I always thought it was two. It always looked to me like they grabbed two, but they only grabbed one. They run off, and the gang decides to chase after them and save the egg and prove that they're mature, and they can have responsibilities and all this. And they catch up to them in a cave, and they startle each other, the gang and the egg stealers. And in the bustle of them running around, the egg is dropped. And then it rolls out, and the kids go one way and the egg snatchers go the other way.
Long story short, they mistake the young dinosaurs that want to be seen as...
They find an egg they think is the lost egg, and they take it back to the nest, and it's not the right egg, and the egg that they were after is already back.
And the egg turns out to be a sharp-tooth egg, and that egg, they decide, after it hatches, they decide that they are going to raise it and to name it Chomper.
Yes. The whole theme of this episode is really growing up is a slow process.
Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah. Because when you get older, you wish you were young again. It's been done, but it's still a cute film.
So how was the music in this?
Thinking back when I was a kid, the music, it's fun. Still really like this Eggs a Day song. It's silly, but it was fun. Listening to it now, it's like, oh God, I loved this stuff when I was a kid. How? I still had a decent time. Was I a little old for the songs? Yes. They were alright. What you think?
Yeah, I had the same feeling. I loved the songs growing up, but today I just was like, this is very poor. The egg song's alright. There's one song that did have me singing a couple days after I saw it, but I don't know why. I guess it was just catchy enough. But yeah, the music is just not that great. It's probably the weak point of the film.
I can see it. For a little kid, it's great.
Oh, yeah.
As I said. This film is not as animated as well as the first one. It's much brighter. There's less detail. There is still a lot of detail to be found in the film, but not as much as in the previous one. Colors are much lighter. The characters are not as well defined as the first one. You see them, you see their likes and differences and all that. And it's okay, but there's no real, build on it.
And I do think that part of this has to do with the fact that this movie came out in 1994, 6 years after the first one.
Yes.
And 1 year after Jurassic Park came out. And about that time in the 90s, dinosaurs were just all the rage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was kind of a cash grab in a sense, but I mean, it's still enjoyable enough for the kids.
Yeah, to rent the first one? Yeah, to rent the first one, we got a specialty anniversary edition, and it actually had a Jurassic Park Genesis there. What was it? Not Genesis.
I don't know.
It was a Jurassic Park theme thing on it, and it was for 2000 something. I don't remember. But so it probably had a lot to do with Jurassic Park.
Going back to the egg stealers, I don't know who one of them was, but one of the egg stealers was voiced by Rob Paulsen, who has done so many voices. I mean, he did the voice of Pinky in Pinky and the Brain. He was Yakko in Animaniacs. He has a very distinct voice. He was Carl in Jimmy Neutron, the series, as well as the movie. I mean, he's just so many memorable voice characters, and it was a very nice to see that he was a part of this film. I kind of was joking with him that it was kind of his voice is very similar to Pinky.
Yes, it's very similar. It's slightly different. I kept expecting him to go snarf or narf. Okay,
so what would you give this out of 10?
It's not as good as the first one. It's still very good. I'd give it a 7.2. The scene was a little bit of a throw off for me now, but it's still a really good film for kids. What would you give it, Cory?
Yeah, I did think that it had some good stuff, but overall it was not what I remembered it being. It's nowhere near what the first one was in quality and everything, but I think it is enjoyable for kids, but as an adult, it's just one that I would say I'd probably give I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Okay. Now on to the third one.
Yeah. And the third one is The Land Before Time 3, The Time of Great Giving.
Yes.
The Land Before Time 3 came out a year after the second movie, and it's about the gang. They have to deal with three bullies, and
yes, this one they're dealing with bullies. There is meteorites crashing. They crash into what they call the mysterious beyond, which is the area surrounding their Great Valley, and those meteorites cause a block in their water source.
Oh yeah.
And there's no water getting in, and the valley is drying up really fast. It dries up in a day. It's kind of sped up, but yeah.
And pretty much the entire film is the gang trying to find more water.
Yeah, and secondary story is not really about the young dinosaurs, but about the older ones, especially Sarah's father and one of the bullies' father. They have
different opinions on how to parent.
Yes, both of them do more of a commanding, dominating, I don't know, you do what I say and that's it.
A very authoritarian.
Authoritarian?
Yeah.
Okay. That especially goes for Sarah's father. He wants to make sure everyone can survive, but only if it's followed his way. And he has his own song in there, which isn't a bad song for this film. There's the area in Great Valley. It gets so bad that there's a fire, and Sarah's father's bullheadedness nearly gets him and his daughter killed.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of realizes he needs to be a little bit more lax, take others' opinion in. It's the theme is kind of adults don't always know exactly what's best. We're all learning.
Mm-hmm.
We're learning growing up. We're learning when we're grown. It's all this. And another theme was if you only react with anger, anger's all anybody will know from you. And if you have children, all you show them is anger. That's all they'll know. This one has more meaning than the second one. Growing up, I never liked this one all that much. It's good. Don't get me wrong, the lessons are rather neat in this one. Going back, it's a little deeper than the second one. The songs are still kind of a drawback, but it was an alright film. What did you think, Corey?
Well, this one, growing up, I did like this one growing up. I did like some of the music. I liked some characters in it. But upon, as I've grown, as I've gotten older, I actually, of the three, this one I like the least. And that's not really the film's fault. It's just I had a hard time actually getting into this one. Maybe it was the pacing. Maybe it was just the overall film itself. I'm not sure, but I did have a hard time getting into this one. I didn't enjoy it as much as when I was a kid. But I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad film. I mean, it's good for kids, but it's not one that I would rewatch as an adult. So, do you have anything to add?
No. What would you rate this one, Corey?
For me, like I said, I didn't like this one as much, so I will probably give this one probably a 4.7 out of 10.
4.7. Ouch.
But I mean, I'm not saying that the film's bad. I'm just saying that for me, it was just not one that I particularly enjoyed.
Well, watching it back, I did like it more than when I was a kid. I'd give it a solid 7. It has a decent storyline. It has a deeper plot than you really think, but it's not as great as the first one. To me, it was a little worse than the second, and on par. So other parts, it's better. Yeah, but I still enjoyed it. So yeah, solid 7 out of 10.
Okay. Well, so next week we are going to be reviewing The Land Before Time. No, excuse me. In 2 weeks we'll be reviewing The Land Before Time 4 through 6.
Yes.
That's The Journey Through the Mist, The Mysterious Island, and The Legend of Source Rock.
Yes.
Yeah. So be sure to come back in 2 weeks, and we'll share our opinions of those 3 films.
It'll be sure to be a trip down memory lane if I can get my mouth to say the words right.
Hey guys, have you seen any of the Land Before Time movies?
Did you grow up with them? Did you watch them later?
Are you fans of them? Did you like any of them?
Did you follow all the way through 12?
Yeah, something like that. Comment. Let us know. What was your favorite? What was your least favorite? When did you stop watching them? Just let us know. If you like this video, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe.
If you like the commentary, also like, favorite, and subscribe.
So yeah, I'm Cory.
I'm Allen.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.